According to the mainstream media, former President Donald Trump and current Republican nominee for the White House is so flummoxed by his Democratic opponent, Vice President Kamala Harris, that he is flailing desperately like a punch-drunk boxer to land a punch. And if you listen to Republican pundits, however, the bump from the Democratic convention for Vice President Harris has already run off. I want to remind both of you, when you were the panelists on the last time we did the show 5 weeks ago, we were still talking about whether Joe Biden was going to be the nominee. I mean, so much has changed so quickly and rapidly that I guess all of our heads are spinning. Cary, the question remains and being raised about the lack of policy statements from the Harris-Walz campaign and her deliberate avoidance of the media. Has she peaked too soon?
No, she hasn't even peaked yet, as far as I'm concerned. In fact, I said at that last show that Trump's character, he will present it, and he's done that. Trump's biggest problem is himself, his sense of superiority, his bias against women. His attacks on. Well,
let's focus on your candidates, Cary. I mean, she doesn't have any policy statements on her website. She barely did an interview with CNN. Is she going to fade as people give her greater scrutiny?
She's challenged with a lot of dynamics at the moment. I think the war in the Middle East is a large part of that. Look, the big three that she has to deal with is the war, women's rights, and the economy. And she definitely needs to present her platform before the election. But other than that, she sits back and she watches Trump self-implode, and she's doing good. I mean, that's
right. Let's see what Mark has to say about this. Because, Mark, it was safe to assume that before President Biden dropped out, Mr. Trump thought he had the election in the bag.
Well, I would.
And now he finds his message is not resonating quite so well. Can he get his mojo back?
Yeah, here's the thing. It was very competitive back then, and I think we talked about it at that time, and it is very competitive right now. This is, of course, an electoral college election, and racking up more votes in California only does so much for you. It remains competitive, and if you go back to where we were at that in June, it was still very, very close and what have you. More than the horse race. I think the interesting polling data is in the sort of changes that are taking place between 2020 and this year. And to Cary's pleasure, we are seeing on one hand college-educated women in basically red areas shifting, who were once Republicans, shifting towards Harris. On the other hand, we're seeing non-college men in across the country, particularly Hispanic, but also some African American men who are voting less Democratic than they were in the past. And how that change works out will be very interesting. And it is also likely to have a huge impact on the Electoral College. I would if I have a moment, I would take the sort of cartoon characters that basically the video media tends to focus on and put that aside and really focus on the issues that people really care about.
Well, we have a debate coming up in about 5 days, and it'll be the first debate between the two candidates. It's the only scheduled debate between the candidates. There may be more, there may be less. I mean, there may be, there won't be less. There may be more given the outcome, but a number of pollsters have said that the election is going to be won or lost in this debate. Do you agree, Cary?
You know what? All Kamala has to do is show up. I mean, as soon as he starts attacking her because she's a woman, an African American, and from Indian descent, I mean, Trump is going to go crazy. And if Kamala just keeps her cool and stays on the issues, she's got it. She's got him licked, in my opinion.
And so Mark, the former president exhibited great discipline in his earlier debate with President Biden. And so if he doesn't self-immolate, as Cary is hoping, will he come out on top?
Well, yes. I think in the debates obviously provide an opportunity to focus on the issues that people really care about. All the data I see, that people are very concerned about the economy, and that has been true for months and months, and true in poll after poll after poll. Trump has a record on the economy. Harris, she's got to decide whether she's for Bidenomics or not, or how she's different from Bidenomics, and what changes she would make. And when the issues are focused, I mean, I hear Cary. Cary's very characteristic of a lot of Democrats who want to run against a cartoon character. And MSNBC and others have done a great job of making Trump into this figure, and ignoring that the race is going to be settled by people who are largely in the middle, who care about very specific issues.
That's just unfair. I mean, the reality is, it's not that Democrats want to run on character. It's that Trump doesn't let it go. It's all on him. He does it to himself. I'm sorry.
Well, Cary and Mark, we're going to have to wait until after Tuesday's debate to see whether or not either which one of you has got the right insight on this.